For players newly arrived to level 40, I wanted to put together a build that would give you the survivability and damage output that would allow you to take on challenging and heroic control points. This build allows you to do just that, gives decent survivability, and does not contain any hard to farm or exotic pieces in the build. So let's get into it. Hey everyone, it's Agent Meat from Delta Tactical. The build I managed to put together is relatively easy to farm, does not contain any exotic weapons or gear pieces, and gives you pretty decent stats. You're at 55% crit chance, 92.5% crit damage, and 55% headshot damage. On top of that, it's using 4 pieces of strikers to give you the additional weapon damage that strikers brings to the table. It also increases your rate of fire. Before we get into all of that, you will notice that 2 of my strikers pieces are rolled to armor. That's going to be the slight challenge with putting this build together. I wanted to increase the armor rating up over 1 million to take advantage of armor on kill and armor regen. As far as the build itself, it starts with the gunner specialization. What this brings to the table is a host of benefits for survivability. It gives you 10% armor on kill. Every third reload is 50% faster, and your rate of fire increases by 5% on kill for 5 seconds. All of those will help with your survivability and your ability to kill enemies. It also gives you the Banshee Pulse, which is a great alternative to running a shield because it does stagger enemies, which gives you time to get them killed while they're staggered. For the rest of the build, I'm running a Police M4. This one does happen to have InSync. I couldn't change both the talent and the third attribute. The third attribute was re-rolled to damage to targets out of cover, bringing this up to where I wanted it, which left it with the InSync talent. With InSync, hitting an enemy grants 15% skill damage for 5 seconds. Using a non-shield skill or damaging an enemy with a skill grants 15% weapon damage for 5 seconds. Damage increases are doubled when both buffs are active at the same time. And this is the reason that I'm running the Striker drone, is to take advantage of this talent. In a perfect world, this would be a better damage talent, but it was what I happen to have. It's likely you're not going to have an absolutely perfect firearm when you start putting builds like this together. So this is a way around dealing with a talent that is not exactly what you're looking for. It's understanding where your damage is going to come from and then building around that. As you will see in the heroic control point, I was concerned that I was going to run out of ammunition, so I switched from the shotgun that normally lives here. Normal secondary is an ACS-12 with Optimist, and this is in place to build striker stacks quickly. In this particular case, I was playing more from range, so I ended up going with initially with the White Death. That doesn't have the rate of fire that's going to build striker stacks, so I switched to the stage left. So with the stage left, the rate of fire is 403, so it's slightly higher rate of fire, but it's got perfect sledgehammer. When you hit a target with a grenade, they take a mark, or they get marked, and they'll take 40% more damage to armor and have a minus 30% movement speed. So again, it's of benefit to you while you're playing. The pistol is completely optional. I happen to have a profit in there because I keep getting them dropped, so I threw one in. So it's likely something that you may have at this point. 4 pieces of strikers. So with 2 pieces of strikers, you get 15% additional weapon handling. Weapon handling is your stability, accuracy, and reload speed, all of which will help you land targets and stay firing or get back to firing quicker than if it's not there. So it's a great talent to have. And you can see that this piece is imperfect. It's at 9% weapon damage. I did re-roll it to crit chance, and there's a crit damage mod in here. For 3 pieces, you get 15% rate of fire, and for 4 pieces, you get Striker's Gamble. Weapon hits increase total weapon damage by 0.65, stacking up to 100 times. So that would be 65% additional weapon damage. I'm running the backpack, and again, this one I got to drop with crit chance, therefore I re-rolled it to armor to take advantage of the 10% armor on kill that you're getting from the gunner specialization, and also the regen that's built into the build itself, because the more armor you have, the more you get. But with the backpack, it increases the total weapon damage gained per stack from 0.65 to 1%. So if you're fully stacked with strikers, you're at an additional 100% weapon damage. The rest of the strikers pieces, this one's weapon damage and crit chance. And the knee pads are, again, I got this one to roll or drop with crit damage, so I re-rolled it to armor. The struggle you will always have if you're newly arrived at level 40 is none of your watch levels, you may not have any watch levels, or you may not have enough applied to give you the additional 10% headshot damage, weapon damage, crit chance, and crit damage. With 10% doesn't sound like a lot, but it makes putting together builds that much easier. So what I elected to go for here was a Cheska piece because it gives you 10% crit chance. This one is a perfect piece. It's got weapon damage, crit chance, and crit damage with a crit damage mod. It's running my favorite damage talent for the chest piece, which is Obliterate. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 5 seconds, stacks up to 25 times. So once you're fully stacked, you've got 25% additional weapon damage. The last piece of the build is one piece of Bellstone Armory. This one has crit chance and crit damage and armor, but it also gives you 1% armor regen. Lastly, I'm running the Crusader Shield, which with the 3 armor cores that I have is a tier 3 shield. And then running the Striker drone. This is a skill tier 0, or sorry, a tier 0 drone. So it doesn't do a lot of damage, but again, with InSync on the Police M4, I'm adding to its damage, it's adding to my damage. So it does help the build out. Unfortunately, it's got a very long cooldown time at 25 seconds. So when it goes down, that's usually when I'll pull into cover and wait them out, taking shots where I can. As far as the stats for the build, you're at 80,000 weapon damage, 55% crit chance, 92.5 crit damage, and 55% headshot damage. You're also at 21% health damage, and that's from the weapon itself. There's nothing else built into this build itself. For the armor, you're at 1.17 million armor, rounds to 1.2 over here, and that gives you 117,000 armor on kill and 11,700 armor regen. It's enough survivability that if you pull into cover and you don't overextend, there's very good survivability. For me in my playstyle, challenging is absolutely no issue whatsoever. Heroic, you have to be a little bit more cautious, taking slightly longer shots. This is not a build where you can go face-to-face and face tank people. You will get downed because the shield is effectively a paper mache shield. It's not going to give you the survivability you need to get in front of people and take them down. So that's the build in a nutshell. The gameplay that you're going to see following this is 2 control points, one on challenging. I then take on a propaganda broadcast, a territory control, turning another control point into a level 4, and then I take on the level 4. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you very much for watching. Do appreciate all of the positive comments I've been getting lately in the videos. It's very much appreciated. If you're new to the channel and you like the content, please consider subscribing. For everybody else, a like, a comment, a share, they all help the YouTube algorithm, and they help the videos get out to a wider audience. It's Agent Meat signing off, and enjoy the gameplay.
Reinforcements en route. Detecting additional hostile contacts. Access key